Hello, my dear children. Children, in the class of ray optics, today we are going to study refraction across a spherical surface. Refraction across a spherical interface or boundary. Well, what is interface or a boundary? Interface or a boundary is a surface which divides two different media. So let's get on with spherical surfaces refraction. Well, all refracting surfaces, spherical surfaces, are of two types, convex or concave. This is a convex refracting surface. On one side of this surface, we have, say, medium 1, whose refractive index is N1, and on the other side, we have medium whose refractive index is, say, N2. So, on both sides of this boundary, we have two different media. So, every spherical surface, whether it is concave or convex, is part of a sphere. Every spherical surface is part of a sphere, and center of that sphere is called center of curvature. Every spherical surface is a part of sphere, and center of that sphere is called center of curvature of this curved surface. Same way here also, every concave surface is part of a sphere, and center of the sphere is called its center of curvature. This is a refracting boundary. The center of this refracting boundary is called as optical center or pole. Line joining pole and center of curvature is called principal axis. So this is principal axis. Principal axis. Same way here also. This is a refracting boundary, and the center of this refracting boundary is called as pole or optical center. The line joining center of curvature and pole or optical center is called principal axis. This is principal axis. Radius of the sphere of which the curved surface is part of. Radius of a sphere of which spherical surface is a part of is called R. R stands for radius of curvature. R stands for radius of curvature. C stands for center of curvature. You have already understood. So these are some very important key points with regard to refraction. Any line which passes through the center of sphere, any line which passes through the center of curvature is always what? Normal to the surface of a sphere. All these are normals. Why? All these lines which are going to pass through center of sphere, they all are along radius, and radius is always normal to surface of the sphere. So any line which passes through center of curvature is normal to the surface of sphere. We need to know this normal simply because if we know the normal, we would be able to locate angle of incidence as well as angle of refraction. So children, after knowing these key terms with regard to the spherical surfaces, let us now deduce a formula for refraction. So what are we going to do? We are going to deduce an expression for refraction across a spherical surface, and the spherical surface taken is what? A convex surface. And remember, in your board exams, refraction across convex surface is what is in your syllabus. Otherwise, we can deduce the same formula by taking here a concave surface also. Well, this is a convex surface, and C is the center of curvature of the convex surface. This is center of curvature of this curved surface. This P is the center of this boundary, which is called pole or optical center. And the line joining pole and center of curvature is principal axis. You know it already. And the line passing through center of curvature is normal. This is normal at point M. This is normal. Remember, this is normal. If this is object O, this is incident ray, then angle which the incident ray makes with the normal is what? I, angle of incidence. This ray after refraction, would not travel straight. It will move either towards normal or away from normal, depending upon whether the second medium, the medium this side is denser or rarer. Yeah, this side the medium has refractive index N1, this side the medium has refractive index N2. And this ray of light, instead of moving straight, say it moves towards normal, and if it moves towards normal, it will move like this. Yeah, it moves like this, and say it hits the principal axis here, it cuts the principal axis here. So this is object, this is its image, this is angle of incidence, and this angle which the refracted ray makes from normal is what? Angular refraction. Angular refraction, this is normal. Now let us mark some more angles. This is, we have dropped the normal here. We are marking this angle as alpha. We are marking this angle as what? Beta. And let us mark this angle as what? Gamma. We all are aware of Snell's law of refraction. Snell's law of refraction says that sine of angle of incidence to sine of angular refraction, the ratio is a constant, and that constant is refractive index of medium of refracted ray with respect to the medium of incident ray. That you know. This is also refractive index of medium of refracted ray upon refractive index of medium of incident ray. These are absolute refractive indices. Well, children, we know that sine theta is theta if theta is small. So that way sin I, R, even these angles alpha, beta and gamma, which we are going to make use of very shortly. So all these angles I, R, alpha, beta, gamma, all of them are very small angles. So here, since I and R both are small, we can write it as I. Sin I is I, sin R is R, and that is equal to what? N2 upon N1. So this is the result of Snell's law or refraction. So when we apply Snell's law, what do we get? We get I upon R as N2 by N1. Now let us look at triangle OMC. So triangle OMC, I am drawing this triangle here. This is triangle OMC. If this triangle is drawn here, what do we get? This is triangle OMC. This is triangle OMC. Yeah, this is O, this is M, and this is what? C. This angle is gamma, this angle is alpha, and this angle, this angle is marked as what? I. See, this is angle I. In this triangle, this angle is I, and this angle is gamma, this angle is alpha. So this triangle is selected from here, copied and pasted here. And we know that in every triangle, exterior angle is equal to sum of interior opposite angles. Therefore, this I is going to be equal to what? This I is going to be equal to alpha plus gamma. Now let us look at another triangle CMI. triangle CMI. If we look at this triangle CMI, I'm also going to cut and paste this triangle here. This is triangle CMI. This is triangle CMI. This is C, this is M, this is M, and this is I. This angle is beta, therefore this angle is going to be what? Beta. This angle is gamma, and this angle is R. Again, since exterior angle is equal to sum of interior opposite angles, so in this triangle, this is exterior angle gamma, and this is equal to sum of R and beta. This simply means R is going to be what? R is going to be gamma minus beta. So see, we have found out the value of I and R, and we are going to substitute these values of I and R here in equation number 1. So if we substitute 2 and 3 in 1, what do we get? If we substitute 2 and 3 in 1, we get, well, alpha plus gamma, that is for I, and R is what? Gamma minus beta, and that is equal to what? N2 by N1. Well, what are these alpha, beta and gammas? What are the values of these angles alpha, beta and gammas? We know tan alpha. Tan alpha is equal to alpha if alpha is small. And if alpha is small, tan alpha is alpha. And what about this alpha? This tan alpha is going to be perpendicular upon base. What is this perpendicular? This perpendicular is, say, H. And what is this base? This base is going to be what? This base is going to be, this base is going to be the distance of object. The distance of object. And this distance of object U is going to bear what? Negative sign. Well, this is object. The incident rays from left to right. So distance right side are positive and left side are what? Negative. So that way, this distance U is going to be a negative sign. So what is this tangent of alpha? Tangent of alpha is perpendicular upon base, and the perpendicular is what? H, and base is what? U. But we write this U with negative sign because of the sign convention we have already studied. Well, what about tan beta? As we have found out tan alpha, let us find out tan beta. Well, this beta is also very small. So tangent of beta is going to be what? Perpendicular upon base. And what is this base? This base is nothing but the distance of image. This is image distance V. So tangent of beta is going to be perpendicular upon base, and this perpendicular is H. Again, let me tell you, M and MP, this arc is same as this normal. Why? Because these angles are very, very small. So tangent of beta is H upon V. H upon V. Remember, this V is positive. V is right side of this optical center. Well, tangent of gamma is also going to be equal to gamma. And this tangent of gamma is going to be what? Perpendicular upon base. And what is this base? This base is going to be distance of center of curvature from optical center, and that is what is R. So tangent of gamma is gamma, and that is equal to perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular is H, and base is what? R. So children, let us substitute the values of alpha, beta and gamma here in equation number 4. And if we substitute these values, what do we get? Alpha, H upon minus U, minus, this is plus gamma. Gamma is what? H upon R. This tan gamma is gamma, tan beta is beta, and tan alpha is alpha, because these angles are very, very small. So alpha is H upon minus U, gamma is H upon R, upon H upon R minus H upon V, and that is equal to N2 by N1. See, this H cancels out. We cross multiply. Once we cross multiply, what do we get? N1 into 1 upon R minus 1 upon U. And right hand side becomes what? N2 into what? N2 into 1 upon R minus 1 upon V. If we open up the brackets, what do we get? We get n1 upon u, n1 upon r minus n1 upon u is equal to n2 upon r minus n2 upon v. Let us change the side of n2 by v. Let us bring it to left hand side and let us take this term to right hand side. What happens? We get n2 by v minus n1 by u, and that is equal to what? n2 by r minus n1 by r. This can be written as n2 by v minus n1 by u is equal to, this r can be taken as common, n2 minus n1 by r. This is the requisite formula we wanted to derive. So this is formula of refraction across a curved surface. Very, very important formula. What is this n1? This n1 is the refractive index of real incident rays of refractive index of the medium where we place the real object. N2 is the refractive index of real refractive index of the medium of real refracted rays. U, you know, is object distance. We have to find out the sign of object distance using what? Sign convention. V is image distance, and R is radius of curvature of the spherical surface. Whether we derive this formula using convex surface or concave surface, the formula comes out to be same. So very, very important formula. With the help of this formula, we can work out almost every numerical of refraction. So we'll very shortly come up with the numericals of at least half dozen different types. So with this derivation, our class gets over right now. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.